All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to talk about why you should even care about understanding the finances and accounting for your particular entrepreneurial enterprise or small business. And you know, whether I'm consulting for entrepreneurs or we're doing like a business pitch competition, or anytime an entrepreneur is trying to talk about what they are trying to do with a banker, someone from a venture capital company, a potential supplier, a potential customer, they always get asked the same kinds of questions. And these questions are things like, what are your startup costs? How will what will your profitability look like throughout the year? Do you have some sort of a seasonality or some sort of a cycle to your profitability? What are your projected profits for the first year? How about your sales? What are your projected profits looking like for the next 3 years, 5 years? How does that compare to your sales? What is your cash flow? That's another thing they get asked a lot. What lines of credit do you need? Bankers especially ask this. How many employees do you have? What do you pay them? What is your burn rate? What is your break-even point? And I should probably clarify, because burn rate's important. That's when you're burning through your cash, the cash that you have on hand, until that point that you make some sort of a profit. You have to remember, a lot of new ventures do not make profit for the first year, certainly, maybe 2, maybe even 3 years in, right? So that's the burn rate. It's how fast that money that you have is being burnt through. And again, you don't have to be in a business pitch competition or getting a loan or any of these kinds of things. You're gonna get asked this even in very casual settings. And what are you gonna do? Say, I don't know, I'm more of an ideals person. Let me go ask my accountant real quick. No, you need to have some sort of a solid understanding, or at least an understanding that is concise enough that you can explain it to these different stakeholders going to be asking you these questions. Of course, they're not going to ask to see your spreadsheet at a cocktail party, but you at least need to be able to answer confidently that you know what's going on. Okay, that is huge. Again, the other thing that you need to remember, yes, you can hire an accountant, but you need to have some flexibility with the numbers. You need to understand how these things are put together, at least in a rudimentary sense, so you can ask your accountant the right questions. One, you don't want your accountant stealing from you or messing up the books, because you're the one that's going to go to jail if you do something like tax fraud, not the accountant. Also, you need, so much of small business ownership and entrepreneurship is about flexibility. Changing of course, different things are going to be happening, and so you need to understand where the numbers came from so that you can change those numbers to suit new goals. You as the entrepreneur are probably going to be moving faster than your accountant, with whom you maybe meet once a month, once a quarter, once a year, whatever it is, right? Although I remember reading one time that a small business that has $1 million in assets might need to hire a professional accountant for somewhere between 20 and 25 hours a month. Right? But still, that may not be fast enough given what you're trying to do. So instead of making your business fit into what the numbers are, instead of fitting into what that accountant spreadsheet says it needs to be, because remember, the accountant's not the entrepreneur, you are, you need to be able to make those numbers work for your business. All right? That's huge. The other thing you have to remember is, based on all the numbers and the way that you've looked at the assumptions and all this great stuff, you've done all the math. You've got to do a little introspection. Does this match your risk profile? Are you comfortable with the way this business will run for the next 1, 2, 3, 5 years? And most importantly, do you think that this is going to afford you the lifestyle that you want? And numbers will help you make that informed decision. So it's a lot more than just a spreadsheet. It's asking very existential questions, and the numbers will highlight those things. Okay, great. So in our next video, we're going to talk about some critical cash flow rules. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and also post any questions in the comment section. Awesome. I'll see you on the next video.